Guys, I get asked time and time again which editing software is the best for beginners just wanting to start out on YouTube, and today we're going to be talking about Filmora, a software by Wondershare that seriously holds up when being compared to other more professional solutions, but without the high price tag. So what do you guys think of that old school intro? It's actually been a really long time since I used that here on the channel, but maybe if you guys think it's cool, we can start using it again. Anyway, Filmora. Alright, this editing software is very unique in the fact that it really does hold up, like I mentioned before, to a lot of more professional video editors. You can do pretty much everything that you'd want to accomplish in a more professional software with Filmora, and obviously in a much more simple way. This editing software does a great job of making somewhat difficult tasks that you would have to do in other video editors very, very easy, and it still will make your videos look very professional with this. This does not take shortcuts. It doesn't under-deliver in any areas, in my opinion. I think it's a really good editing software. I'm very surprised, actually, that it's as good as it is for as cheap as it is. And speaking of which, there is a free download or free trial that you guys can test out right now. There will be a watermark on any video that you try and render with it, which is why I do recommend getting the full version. But if you just want to try it out, see if it's a good fit for you, just kind of test out some of the stuff that I'm going to show you here today. The free download is a great option. I should mention that this is video 1 of 2 videos that I'm going to be making about this software. The first one, which is what you're watching right now, is just going to be a basic general tutorial how to navigate the software and how to do some of the more main features within it. The second one is going to be a bit more specialized in that I'm going to be teaching you how simple it is to make a pretty cool video intro like you're watching on the screen right now. This took less than a minute to create, and it looks pretty professional, and I'm going to show you guys how you can do that too. But that will be in the second video. If you want to skip right to that one, there will be a link in the description. But without any more of my pointless rambling, why is Filmora great for beginners? Well, I'm glad you asked. Other than it being extremely easy to use, it supports both Mac and Windows. There's 300 plus video effects, 140 filters and overlays. There's text and titles you can put on your videos, motion graphics. There's multiple effects packs that you can buy to add on to the experience. And my favorite, there's a royalty-free music library. Never again will you have to worry about copyright infringement, which is a big deal. And we're going to talk about all that in more depth in a little bit. Alright, so once you load up Filmora, you're going to have two options to choose from here. You're going to choose the aspect ratio, which can either be 4:3 or 16:9. 16:9 is pretty much standard everywhere these days, so I'm going to choose that. And for this tutorial, we're going to be going over full feature mode rather than the easy mode, just because obviously it's full feature and I can show you everything that this software has to offer. So once you load in, this is the interface, which probably will look pretty familiar to you with a few exceptions if you've ever used a video software before. Alright guys, so I went ahead and imported some clips here. And all you have to do that is either you could just open up your files, navigate to a video or whatever, and sort of drag it in. We don't want to drag in the program files, so let's not do that. But you could either do that, or you could click this little import thing, and it essentially does the same thing. You just don't have to drag it. You can just find a video, we could import this static clip for some reason, but we don't need that for right now. What we can do though is add one of these clips to our timeline, which can be done in two ways. We can either drag it down there, or there's a little plus that shows up here when you hover over the video. We can click that, and that will also automatically add it to there. So let's do a little editing here. So this is basically a pretty long clip of me running around on the beach and doing a little driving. Let's try and get this nice jump here. So we can navigate to basically where we want it to start, and we can bring this over here and we can drag it along. So let's say we wanted to start right here. We can do that, and now that brings the clip all the way to the beginning. So this is where the clip now starts. And where's the end of where we land? Probably about there we can end it. So we can drag this all the way over until we land, which is right about there, probably. That's probably going to be good. So now this is pretty small, so we kind of want to zoom in so we can just see what we're working with a little bit better. You can do it with this slider over here. We can zoom in, so now this will take out a lot more of the area. Ooh, I might have zoomed too much. Yep, definitely too much. All right, so let's maybe just a little bit more. Perfect. Okay, so now we have a better idea of what's going on. We can do some more fine-tune edits and things. So let's say we are doing somewhat of a montage or something, and we just want music. We don't want the actual video's audio. So right now we have a video and audio sort of mixed together right here, but we can change that. We can either mute the audio, which might be the easiest thing in this scenario, or we can detach the audio. What that's going to do is it's going to make the video and the audio separate tracks. So now the audio is down here and the video is up there. So for instance, if you just wanted the audio of when we went off the jump, for instance, we could get rid of all this audio right there, but we do not affect the video. See, if we were to do that earlier, the video would also be lost up until this point, but now we just got rid of the audio, so that's fine. One thing, like I mentioned, you might want to put music in instead of having this audio, or maybe you want both. Maybe you want this to be, just kind of in the background of the music a little bit louder than the clip itself. So we can drag the music down to the music little tracks here. So this is the audio track for the videos, and this is audio for the music. So you can have up to 3 audio tracks, which is pretty nice, and you can do a little bit of mixing. So what we can do is I'm actually going to make the audio go back all the way to the beginning for that. So I can click edit here, and we can change all sorts of stuff. Actually, we can change the volume, we can change the fade in and out, pitch, equalizer, speed. You can actually denoise it. This clip isn't going to work really well for that, but what I'm actually more interested in is editing the music audio. So what we can do now is let's just play it real quick so you can even get an idea of what's going on. So it's pretty loud, and that's not really what I want at this point. So I can actually turn this music down. Let's turn it down to like 30. That's probably gonna be good. So as you can see, it's not as overpowered. The clip is only like 13 seconds long. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna get rid of all this excess audio. And how we can do that is click on this split tool. We can split it wherever we want. Oh, it actually splits it right there. So we want to move this over here. Now click the split tool, and that will split that clip, and we can actually delete that portion. And now we have a perfectly edited clip here, which is pretty nice. Now let's say we don't like the map in the corner of the screen. We want this to be a little bit more cinematic or so. Well, there's a few things we could do. We could either crop it or we could zoom in gradually. I think cropping is going to be the way to go right here. So what we can do is kind of drag this little box down. This is where the video will end up being. So it's going to be a little bit off center, but at least we have the map out of the way. It's still going to be in 16:9 if you leave that checked, which is nice, so we're not going to end up with any black bars or anything there. So what we can do is preview this. And as you can see, this is what the final version will look like. It looks a little bit nicer without that map right there. Alternatively, if you wanted to zoom in gradually or something, you could actually do a pan and zoom. So we're at the beginning here. We can put that back to where it was, like so. And what that will do is it will gradually zoom out, and you could obviously do it in the opposite direction as well, which we can pause that and press this button to swap the start and end. So it'll start big and it'll come and zoom in gradually, which is pretty nice. There's a lot of things you could do with that. Maybe not a gaming video like this, but something other. You might be able to find that useful, which is pretty nice. So I'm going to go ahead and get rid of all those changes. That's just a nice demonstration for you guys. So we're back to normal here. And now let's say we wanted to, put this into slow motion. How I'm actually going to do it is, okay, so we're about to go off the jump, right? Let's stop it right there. I'm going to split the clip there. And I'm also going to split the clip when we land. So right there, I'm going to split the clip. So now what we're going to do is we're going to gonna slow down this area. So how we can do that is click on or right click and go to edit, and then we can change the speed from 1 to, let's do it, 1/4 of the speed. So what that did, it actually made it way longer, and it did mess up our audio down here. So you'd actually have to do the same thing to the audio to make that work. But I actually don't want any of this audio for what I'm doing, so I'm just going to get rid of it there. So now, as you can see, we're going to be in slow-mo. Once we go off the jump, we're in slow motion. So that's pretty cool. I'm actually going to undo that just to make it a little bit easier for us to do what I'm about to do next. I'm still going to get rid of this audio though. I don't really want that at this point. So let's say another thing we could do is we could, stop. We could, if let's say we wanted to pause it right here, and we could either put some text on the screen or we could say something. Okay, we could do like a little voiceover. So how we're going to pause it is we're actually going to click OK in there, and then what we're going to do is we're going to click on that, and then it's going to bring up more options. So what you want to do is click on flash and hold. And what that's going to do is we're going to stop right there, and it's going to little zoom in. You could say something right there, which is actually what we are going to end up doing. And this is a pretty much of a fail jump, obviously, because we failed it, and we're doing a bunch of flips in the air and stuff, and that's not what you want, obviously. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to record a voiceover right now, which you can click up here on record a voiceover, and make sure you have your microphone selected. And what we're going to do is click this button. It's going to do a countdown, and then once it counts down, we can talk. And make sure that this is where you want it to be, where you want to start the voiceover. So I'm going to say something along the lines of a fail. So get ready for an epic fail. All right, so let's listen to that back. Get ready for an epic fail. All right, well, this actually lasts a little bit too long, so I'm going to move that over, and I'm going to, I'm going to drag this so it matches with that, and now what's going to happen is, get ready for an epic fail. So, yep, we just did a little voiceover there. You could do that for the entire video if you wanted to. Like if you're doing a commentary or something like that, which is pretty nice. It could come in handy for you. I like that. This is just a little silly demonstration to show you guys what you can actually do with this software. So let's say that really wasn't enough for us. We want some text to flow off. When we go off there, we want some text to come up and say epic fail. How we can do that is we can place this where we want it to obviously start. So let's say we want the text to start right there. We can click on text and credit, and oh my god, is there a lot of presets, which I was not kidding about. Look at all this stuff. This is ridiculous. So what we can do is just find something that suits our fancy. We don't have to, like, obviously all these say something, but we can edit pretty much everything about them. So I'm just going to do something pretty similar. Let's do this. Let's bring this on. So what that's going to do, let's add it to the timeline. So what we can do here is it's going to come up and it's going to say main text. So we can edit that. We can right click and edit it, and we can change what the text says. So let's just change it to epic fail. Sure, that works. So, oops. We can move that down back into place right about there, and now we're gonna have this title come up and it's gonna say epic fail when we go off the jump. So let's listen, let's see what we have accomplished here. So get ready for an epic fail. So there you go. We have our voiceover, and we have our epic fail sort of little text there, which is pretty nice. We did a lot there. There's a lot that you can do with this. Obviously, there's better applications than this silly little video that I have playing for you right now. But this is just a demonstration to show you guys what can be done with this editing software, and there's a ton more things that we're going to go through in a second here. All right, so now we're going to do something a little bit more fun. Probably my favorite part of editing, which is like color grading or color editing. There's some very simple ways to do it in this program, which is what I really like. The first way I'm going to show you is to, so first of all, I have this this nice clip of me on the beach, or not the beach, the pier, which is very colorful and will really show the color editing that we're about to do. What we can do is click on the filters button, and what this will allow us to do is add a nice color filter, almost like an Instagram filter, to our video. And there's a lot of cool ones here that we can you can double click on it to preview it on the clip. That looks interesting. I do like this one because it kind of looks cinematic in a way. It's a little bit dark for my taste, but looks pretty nice. If you add it to the clip, it will add wherever your cursor is. So if you want it on the whole thing, you can just drag it to the front and make it longer, obviously. So now the entire clip is going to be, or at least most of the clip is going to be in that filter, which is pretty nice. But let's say we just like we're going for a certain look, and while there are like tons of different filters on here, we just can't find one that we really like. So what we can do is I'm going to get rid of that for now, and we can manually edit the color. So what I'm going to do is make sure that your video is highlighted, and click this little button here. It kind of looks like a paint wheel or something, and we can totally mess with all the colors here right now and just get exactly what we're looking for. So I'm going to go to the color option right there. You can change the exposure, make it darker or lighter, which I'm not going to do. This really reminds me of like a photo editing software, maybe like Lightroom, which is really nice that you can do it to video as well. So I'm going to actually leave the brightness where it is, but the contrast is where everything really shines. Make the darks darker and the lights lighter. I like that a lot. So we're going to turn that up a good amount. We're going to turn up the vibrance. We're going to turn up the saturation, which you can go overboard with pretty easily, but I think that's going to look pretty well for us. Maybe a little bit less contrast there. That might look better. Maybe a little more vibrance as well. We'll bring up the saturation a bit more. So, as you can see, if we unswitch this, we can see what it looked like before. This is before. Let's play the video. And after we added the color. So, it makes the colors pop just a bit more, which I like. Let's turn it off again. See, now it's definitely making it look a little bit better. So, if you can't find a filter that you like, you can always do this. I mean, there's all kinds of stuff you can edit in here. Like we have, hue and saturation and luminance, and you can add a vignette to it. There's all kinds of stuff you could do. The possibilities are seriously endless. This is actually a lot easier than a lot of other editing softwares, even if you do have to manually change it. So that's what I really like about this one. Another really interesting thing you can do with this program is green screening. Now I don't have a green screen at my house to demonstrate you how to do this, so I got the classic Shia Do It green screen video, and we're gonna do a couple of things with this. So let's say we don't want them to be on this green screen. Obviously we can there's actually a lot of sample things in this program which I have not really shown yet. There's sample videos. We could have them in front of a countdown or something, but that doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. So let's just go to a sample color. Let's say we want them to be on this yellow gradient here. So what we're going to do is bring the gradient into our clip, and then we're going to go back to our video shot. We're going to take this into the picture-in-picture sort of, I think it's called, yeah, the picture-in-picture track. So what we're going to do is, this is a little bit long, so I'm just going to drag this out a bit, and we're going to split the shy clip right about there. And we're going to get rid of the end part. Oops, that's not what we wanted to do. Yeah, okay. There we go. So now, as you can see, he's still in the green screen. So what we have to do is right-click on the shy clip and click green screen. And we want to check make parts of this clip transparent. Right now the color is not what we want. It's black, so we want to change it to green. And as you can see, it's just that easy. Just click on the green area and it disappears. So we can actually make the intensity a little bit more so that he doesn't have a little green hue around him. So we can click OK, and there he is. And now we can, I'm actually going to turn this audio down, otherwise it's going to be extremely loud because he likes to yell. For the picture-in-picture, we want to go over here and click on the audio mixer. And as you can see, the picture-in-picture volume is right here, so I'm just going to drag that down to, you know, minus 30 decibels. So, as you can see when we play it back, now Shy is on a yellow background. Do it! So I have the video of Shia loaded up again. One thing that's really cool about this software is if you right-click, we can go to the Power tool, which allows us to do some cool stuff. So we can apply tilt shift. We could make one area of the screen focused and the other areas not on either side. What we could also do is add a mosaic. So if we wanted to blur out something in the image, you know, if we just wanted to blur out or pixelate the middle image, we could do that. It doesn't really make a whole lot of sense here. But one thing that I really like is, let's say we're trying to conceal his identity for some reason. You know, maybe one of your friends doesn't want to be on video and they're in it and you kind of want to blur out their face or something. What we can actually do is apply a face off to this. And what that will do is we can pixelate just Shia's face. And what this will actually do, which is really awesome, and a lot of editors don't do this very well, is it will follow his face around the clip. See that? It never goes off his face, which is really nice, and it'll follow it around. You can even put something silly on his face, like, you know, a head or something. But I think the pixelation is the most useful aspect of this, which is really awesome, actually, in my opinion. I think that's really nice that you can do that with this editor. Some professional ones don't even do that. You have to set it up manually, which can be very annoying. But I really like that Filmora allows you to do that in such a simple way. This video is getting quite long, but there is one more thing I can show you. There's just so much to cover in this. There's so many features that this editing software has, and it's really nice. So the best thing for you guys to do is either get the free trial or just buy it and mess around with it yourself, because there's so many things you can do, so many things that I haven't even covered. Like, I probably haven't even covered half the software, to be honest. There's just so many things. This video would need to be hours if you wanted me to cover absolutely everything that it can do. But the one thing that I want to show you before we go is the fact that you can record straight from a webcam or your PC screen. So if you wanted to make your own tutorial, you can do that. We're going to click on Record PC Screen right here, and this is going to give us the option to, you know, change the region of our screen if we didn't want to record the entire thing. But I'm going to record the entire thing for this. We could record our mic, we could record sound from a device, but I'm just going to leave it the way it is because I think that that's going to be the best option for us. We can make it full screen right there. So let's do a little recording. It's going to give us this countdown right now, and as soon as that's done, we have started recording. So we can do whatever we want on our desktop. You could even go on a web browser or something. We can do our own tutorial on how to do, you know, whatever. So here's the folder that I was getting everything out of. But once we're done with that, as you can see, there's a Wondershare screen recorder thing down here in your taskbar. You want to right click on that and click stop recording. And what that's going to do is going to open the folder that it saved it in, and it's also automatically going to import it into our project, which is really nice. So we can put it into the timeline, and as you can see, here is the recording that we just did of our screen. It's that easy. Most professional softwares don't even have a built-in screen recorder, so this is really nice. Alright guys, I apologize for how long this video ended up being. I wasn't expecting it to be like that. There's just so much to cover, as I mentioned before. If you want to take a dive into it, download the free trial or buy it. Links for that will be in the description. And like I said, this is only video 1 of 2. The second one will definitely be a lot shorter. I'm going to be teaching you guys how you can make some really cool gaming related intros for your channel. If you want to check that out, click the end card that is on the screen right now. Otherwise guys, thank you so much for watching. Like it if you liked it, dislike it if you didn't, and I'll see you in the next one guys.